We don't want it all on this side of the aisle. What we want with this amendment is spending priorities. We want responsible government. We want smart government. From every village, town, city, county, state level, federal level of government. I think colleagues on both sides of the aisle would agree with me. The core beginning of a budget starts with those who are most in need of funding, and then you build up to those who are least in need of funding. You help those who have the smallest of voices. They don't have the big lobbyists, the well-connected, the well-financed to speak for them. You and I and we are the advocates for the developmentally disabled. We are the ones who have to speak up for them. They don't have the strong and powerful voices. And my colleagues, that $90 million which has been cut here, think about it. With the emergencies that are going to take place, with the lack of funding for the people who support and provide the services for these clients and these families, that's going to impact us financially, and it's going to impact the lives of all the constituents, or many, in your district and mine and all the senators who represent people across this state. At one time, as Ms. Gunther said, you wanted to be the advocates for the developmentally disabled, for those who don't have the strongest voice, who don't have the powerful lobbying forces. 78 of you signed Mrs. Gunther's letter with a number of us from this side. You talk the talk, and now when you have the chance to walk the walk, you don't want to walk it on behalf of the people in those districts. We can pass this. We can wait 3 days for the Senate to come back, and we can still have an on-time budget on Sunday. And my colleagues, we want spending priorities, as I mentioned. And let's think about it. Let's think about some of the spending that's taking place in this budget and budgets in the past. $425 million for tax credits for the rich and famous from Beverly Hills. $5 million to bring Jimmy Fallon and The Tonight Show to the state of New York when he said he was already going to come, rumored to already come. Listen, I love movies. I was a wardrobe man at Union College for The Way We Were. I gave Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford all their clothing for that movie at Union College. It was a few years ago, but it was a good movie. I had a good time. I made $50 an hour doing it. It was great. We have movies here in Saratoga, in my district, in Albany, in the capital region. Very nice. But $425 million for tax credits for movies who come here, create jobs, help the economy, and then leave and take those jobs with them. If you really want to provide tax credits for the engines that create long-term private sector jobs, they're the small businesses in your communities across this state. Or you might want to take a portion on that and fund that $90 million for the developmentally disabled. Where are your priorities? And let me tell you something about Jimmy Fallon. I think he's wonderful. I went to the same college that he went to. I graduated from the College of St. Rose. Jimmy Fallon went to the College of St. Rose. I became a special education teacher, teaching kids with learning disabilities. He became a comedian. Some would say I also became a comedian. I think he's very funny, Jimmy Fallon. But to take $90 million away from the developmentally disabled and give it to the rich and famous from Beverly Hills and Jimmy Fallon is no joke. No joke. And if we can find that money for them, where are your priorities? I ask you. Don't just talk the talk. Don't sign a letter. Walk the walk today. Make a statement. Advocate for your constituents. Provide the funding that government should provide for the people you serve. And that funding should go to remove the obstacles before those who are developmentally disabled so they can be everything they can be with the God-given talents they've been given. That's really the role of government, to be used as a tool. Because we know people, some are going to have obstacles for the rest of their life. And we're going to have to be a compassionate government, a compassionate society. And we're going to have to fund them long term. If we really want to make them have the ability to be everything they can be, stand up and advocate for them and vote to refund this $90 million. I ask you to support this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.